Fusion reaction in T minus 3, 2, 1. Fusion! You don't know the power.
The math is incredible. Fusion reaction.
Oh, hell yeah.
Get to the chopper! Press go up.
Gigantic fusion reactor that just worked.
Multiple income streams and real yield. Cheats can no longer dump on your heads. The revolutionary decentralized finance protocol. Fusion reaction in T minus 3, 2, 1. Fusion! You don't know the power.
The math is incredible. Fusion reaction.
Oh, hell yeah.
The mothership.
And what's it gonna do?
Everybody excited?
Oh, hell yeah.
In my creation! Fusion.
Get ready to rumble.
Fusion.
Huge shout out to Cool Sheet. That song just hits.
What's up, everybody, and welcome to EMP.Money. My name is AJ, I'm the team lead here, and this is our live AMA. We come to you every Monday and Thursday at 6:45 p.m. Eastern. A little bit late today, apologies. We are busy. As a lot of you know, Mondays are the development meeting day. We'll have a lot to talk about with that. Some more updates of not only our protocol, but the overall markets. And really going into that all the puzzle pieces are on the table, and now it's up to all of us to put those puzzle pieces together and set ourselves up for the incoming bull run. So we'll talk about all that and more, but before we get into that, I'd like to introduce my co-host with the most and fellow team member, LA. LA, how are you?
Hello. Hope everyone's having a good day.
Yes, 100%. Sorry. I know we're still trying to dial in the audio, so if you guys still can't hear me, please let me know, and we'll try to bump it up a little bit more. Yeah, LA, another super productive day. We'll get into all of that now, but before we get started, any words from you before we kick things off?
Not on my end. I will say if you guys are still having issues with your sound, we're not sure what to do because AJ's at max volume, I'm at half volume, so I don't know what else we can do at this very moment. He's at 200%, so.
Yeah, totally. Let me look into really quick. Give me just 2 seconds here. Let me know if that's any better, but I'll also look really quick. Sorry, everybody, bear with us. Alright, yeah, everything is maxed on my side. So, hopefully we'll get through it. I'll look into some options after the AMA today. But, yeah, just turn up your volume as much as you can. We'll try not to bust your eardrums. But all right. So moving on. Again, getting into the AMA. We'll try to make it short and sweet again today. Lots to go over, but I know it's been 2 hours plus on some of these other AMAs. So we'll get all the info we need in. But most importantly, a bit of a market overview. I mean, the market has still been really struggling, and unfortunately, no matter how bullish and no matter how much momentum within each individual project or protocol, if BTC or ETH is having a bad day, that usually trickles down into everything else. And I know that in terms of market cap, we touched below 2 trillion again for the overall crypto market cap. And a lot of this was spurred with the classic, market manipulation. I mean, unfortunately, we're still really in our infancy with market caps and the capital that it takes to move those markets. And we saw that with Germany. So Germany sold off a bunch of Bitcoin, and then after all the fear and panic set in, they bought it all right back, or at least a large majority of it. So even large, even beyond institutions, actual countries now are manipulating the markets. And so, unfortunately, it's just something we have to deal with. And don't be flooded out of your own bags. Look at it as a DCA opportunity. I've said many times before, I personally don't think that we're going to go below 50K Bitcoin ever again. So, use that information and do with it what you will. But overall, I think we're in an amazing position. And it plays perfectly into, Fusion as well, because right now it's about building your bags to really capitalize in the bull market. And even Ethereum, has been about 25% down from the local highs. So that is, again, a way of looking at it is getting a 25% discount on your microgrid. So there is opportunity everywhere you look, even though right now it may seem a little bit bleak. We've all been here before, and this is all part of the process. So, LA, you want to add anything to that? Again, I know positive mindset is a big part of what we talk about. So,
Yeah, I want to say that just do your best to manage your emotions. And I mean, none of us really do know what's coming up, but AJ is a good person to listen to because you've been through so many of these cycles. So you kind of are I mean, you're the one I look to kind of get predictions the best that we could possibly know about what kind of cycles happen and what's to come. But
for sure.
there's certain patterns and stuff that it follows. But I mean, I saw some chatter in the group today saying, does anyone think that crypto's just done and dead? Like, is that the kind of thought process that we have after a few rough weeks? Is that how we allow our minds to drift and wander? I personally am not allowing my mind to wander into those areas, to each their own, but mindset is so important because we can view the down times as opportunities. I personally bought some more ETH today when it was at 29 something, because I mean, it's been a while since it's been that low, and I love ETH, so why not, right? These are times of opportunity if you look at it that way, because I personally believe that ETH is going to be above $10,000 at some point in the next 1, 2, 3, 4 years, right? So why not? Right? It's a long-term mindset. I don't care what happens in the next 2 weeks because I know what's going to happen in the next 2 years. So the next 2 weeks are irrelevant to me. Same thing happens with our own project. Like, if we have a rough week or two, who cares? Because we know exactly where we're going. We know exactly what we're building. So if it's a rough week, it's absolutely irrelevant beyond that week.
For sure, absolutely, LA. So sorry about that. I tried to tweak my mic. Let me know if it's any better, guys. It's about as high as I can make it go at this point. But yeah, I mean, what LA said is 100% true. And again, I don't consider myself a fortune teller or a guru by any means, but I do have a lot of experience, and being this will be my third cycle, and the narrative is hauntingly the same. I mean, we see large governments, whether it's China or in this case Germany, countries manipulating the market. We usually hear about Tether FUD. That will be the next big narrative, that Tether is going to collapse. And all of this repeats itself over cycles. And, but no matter what ends up coming out, uh, we still see new all-time highs. So again, I think that this cycle is no different. It may even be more of an extended cycle where maybe we don't see, as high highs as we have in the past, but we see those highs maintain for a lot longer. And either of those scenarios is really bullish for, the long-term mindset of crypto overall. And so, again, just don't, fud yourself out of your own bags. Again, you gotta have that intestinal fortitude and conviction to stay with it. And when you hear, everybody talking about retiring from crypto and your grandma is asking you how to buy Bitcoin, that is usually the sign of a top and time to take profit. So right now is the time to load up. Just like LA, I've been loading up as well on blue chips and obviously some more EMP. Even EMP has been holding up pretty well with ETH dumping. So all of that is super promising for the future. So, all right, awesome. All right, so getting into Fusion, or Ella, anything you want to add to that before we move on to some more topics?
No, I'm good. I'm good.
Okay, so you want to talk a little bit about, and then obviously I'll elaborate, but talk about how, those that are paying attention to in the protocol that are investing in their investment, like we like to say, that doesn't necessarily mean, monetarily, it means paying attention to the protocol overall. And so maybe talk a little bit about how that is so important when it comes to Fusion.
Hmm. Yeah, so it really, really benefits those who pay close attention in the protocol. If you guys recall, on our last AMA, I did a whole spiel about how there's two different ways to benefit from the peg bonus. There's the traditional way of sacrificing directly, and then there's this other way where you could scoop up really cheap microgrids with your eShare and buy really discounted sacrifice points. And at that time on Thursday, there were 4 cent microgrids, well, sacrifice points. There were 5 cent sacrifice points. There were 6 cents, and everything over. All of those 4 cent and 5 cent sacrifice points all got scooped up and purchased since then. The cheapest ones right now are 6 cents. So the people who have been paying close attention and want those great deals, they've been taking advantage of that because they've been watching and taking action. Um, but the great thing about Fusion is that, whether or not you want to pay close attention, it can really benefit you. And we're going to go into that in more detail. But for those of you who really want to play the game and get ahead quickest, it really does pay to pay close attention, watch what's really going on, because there are still really great deals going around, whether you are directly sacrificing or going through the marketplace. So keep an eye on the EMP price, keep an eye on the eShare price, keep an eye on the microgrids in the marketplace, because you never know when all of a sudden there's just this incredible deal you can't pass up that gives you this great opportunity to build your ownership.
Yeah, absolutely, LA, and we'll talk a little bit more about that next. But to reiterate some of this, I mean, again, that, and I know a lot of you that listen to all of our AMAs have heard me say this before, but it really plays into what I like to call poetic justice. And what I mean by that is the way EMP Fusion is designed is that it is meant to reward those that have a long-term vision, that, again, invest in their investment, that pay attention, that read the white paper, that, are active in the community. And that is what we all want in every crypto protocol. We want the core community to win the hardest. And that doesn't mean that if you don't do that, that you're going to lose, because, again, Fusion is so powerful in the fact that because of the real yield, everybody can win as long as they have this, shared mindset through the yield alone. But, if somebody wants to dump their microgrid below market value, then it's up to us as a community to let them do that and to take it off their hands. They get the liquidity that they want. Maybe they leave EMP, maybe they come back, down the road, but they'll never be able to come back at the prices that they are getting out at now. And again, the beautiful part about the way EMP Fusion is designed is that there is no more bad actors, and at no point does that even impact the rest of us. It just makes it, an opportunity for us to seize. And, I've said all along as well that the Treasury will also begin buying back microgrids. Right now, we're giving those cheap opportunities to those that are paying attention and want to build their ownership. But ultimately, it just means over time that more and more of the central grid will be owned uh, by the most, diehard and committed community members, which again is just so appropriate for what we're trying to build. So I love that aspect of Fusion. Again, we get rid of the prisoner's dilemma, we get rid of whale manipulation, we get rid of all the downfalls and, emotional, booby traps that are involved in every other DeFi protocol out there. And so again, it's really part of our master plan in building what we have built. So again, LA, anything you want to add to that, and then maybe move on to why Fusion is really for everyone.
Yeah, like I was just kind of getting into, one of the best parts about Fusion is that it is absolutely for everyone. So whether you're a seasoned investor, whether you are brand new, there's so many ways to play this game, and it's for everyone. It's for that person who loves to be around every day or multiple times a day, scoping everything out, checking their position, checking the marketplace for deals, checking the EMP price, the eShare price, the charts, just wants to be around in the chats, just checking everything out, talking to people. It's for that person. It's also for the person who wants to set it and forget it and only come back once a week or once a month to claim or compound and have a totally hands-off passive investment. We know that obviously Fusion can be a little bit overwhelming at first because there's just a lot of new information to take in at the start. But once you get it and you get over that little learning curve of just taking in all that information and understanding what it means, it's actually the easiest protocol ever after that. And we'll obviously continue making more and more educational content for those who are new or need more help. And as you guys create more and more strategies, we'll definitely incorporate that into our chats more and more. Um, this really is for everyone, no matter what your strategy is and what kind of approach you want to take. So just a reminder to everyone, there is a playlist on this EMP YouTube channel. So if you click on the little EMP logo and then toggle over to playlists, you'll find all the educational videos in the EMP educational playlist. And there's a whole bunch of topics there that'll teach you how to use the protocol. And we're going to be adding more. So if you do still need a little bit of help learning how it works, that's a great place to go aside from the white paper.
Yeah, no doubt. LA, you've done an amazing job with that. LA's done all of the tutorial videos, and we're going to continually add more and more to that. Again, part of our developer meeting today as well was updating some more on the UI. We'll be switching out the old Academy with all the new content, and we'll continue to, again, put out educational series about EMP Fusion. And yeah, I mean, like Ella said, just to reiterate, from the topic of today, that all the puzzle pieces are here, meaning we have built the ideal protocol that is no longer Ponzi based whatsoever. Everything is real yield, which again, I still don't think people understand what that means. I'm in a ton of different other chats, and I think people still have no idea what real yield means just because A, they're not mathematically inclined, or B, they're just so used to protocols that are Ponzi based and inflationary and unsustainable. But the fact that we rely on yield from other protocols that we own, i.e., Fusion itself as a revenue stream, our treasury generating real yield every day from investments and um, concentrated liquidity farming, all of our DEXs that rely on fees, all of that is real yield that doesn't require any new users in our protocols. Now, yes, we have to have volume, but the only thing that will get rid of volume is if, crypto overall fails, which I think, again, all of us are in agreement that we are past that. But that being said, that means that if literally nobody bought EMP or eShare ever again, that over time, as a protocol, because of that real yield, we would be able to support all of you that are still in the protocol, produce, APR, buy back EMP, buy back and burn eShare, and do all of that with literally no new users. And that is, again, the game changer of what EMP Fusion is. And so I think once people really finally understand that, then we will see a lot more, interest. And, but by then it may be too late for them in terms of getting in at these values. And, even now we're about 5,000 EMP away from breaking the 24 million sacrifice total just on the liquid EMP. If you count all the other EMP that we have in the treasury or other locked contracts, we're at about 70% of the overall supply. So the supply shock will be there before we know it. And all of you that are taking advantage now are going to be set up for amazing success. So, all right, awesome. Ella, anything you want to add to that, or maybe go into some new features?
Yeah, we've been having a bunch of development meetings behind the scenes, and we've got a lot of bright minds working together, just kind of ironing out the full details on a bunch of new features that we're bringing to the protocol to take things to the next level. So lots of exciting stuff. Nothing we're directly ready to reveal yet, but we just wanted you guys to know that we are really full steam ahead. We're not, taking our foot off of the pedal to the metal whatsoever. And there's lots of really bullish stuff coming that some of you may be even surprised by, because it's nothing that we really spoke about pre-launch, but that we think is really, really going to add a lot to the protocol, really help us get back to peg in a more efficient manner, and keep Fusion stronger and more sustainable overall. So we are working on that, and also a lot of the suggestions that everyone made, and we're continuing to add to our list kind of in a high, medium, low priority order that we have everything organized in. So some things are obviously getting developed quicker than others, but it's an exciting time. Lots of new stuff coming to Fusion and lots of work happening behind the scenes.
Yeah, no doubt, LA. So I want to spend some time on this again, just from a little peek behind the curtain. And yeah, I mean, we are working on. I know I've teased this a few times. We're working on a new battery that not only can potentially help in every aspect of the protocol, but also hopefully regenerate the FOMO of peg recovery. We are running into some issues we want to move through. Again, anything that we implement, we don't want to have any potential exploits. So, originally I thought that this would be ready a little sooner than what we had discussed. But now we really want to make sure before we roll it out that it is, all the downstream effects are taken care of. But this battery alone could be an amazing catalyst for peg recovery, as well as another potential M energy sink as well for those of you that bought a bunch of M energy. We're working really hard behind the scenes too on business development. Um, we had a really bullish meeting today with a extremely powerful protocol that we're hoping to work with. Again, my vision and my strategy of onboarding other communities that can benefit from Fusion as well as us helping them because every every bullish partnership is a two-way street where we give as much value as we get, and so that has been super promising. Hopefully, we'll have some more updates on that in the coming weeks as well. And honestly, I mean, even though the markets have been down, we're continuing to DCA in some of our private investments. Memes have taken a hit. We do allocate a little bit of our treasury to, high risk, high reward plays, and those can absolutely skyrocket in the bull run. So it's just a matter of us continuing to prepare and position ourselves to absolutely crush it in the next few months. And that really, again, plays into the whole concept of fusion. I think everybody is so used to the instant gratification. And so when they sacrifice EMP, they get their microgrid, maybe the earnings are not what they expected, or the microgrid value goes down a little bit because EMP and ETH are going down. But if you have, the 6 month to 1 year mindset, the amount of gains that are coming our way are just beyond imagination. And again, I mean, I can come on here and say whatever I want to say, but our track record really backs that up over the last 2.5 years. So, also with that, as all of you know, we're building the BSC DEX. We're making major headway on that. Again, that was part of our developer meeting today. And really everything is coming together. The only variable is time. So obviously we wish that it would happen tomorrow, but that isn't realistic. So having an expectation of what is to come, over the next few months is really the best way to approach it. And again, the number one goal right now, we're doing this in phases. So the number one goal right now in phase one is peg recovery and protocol ownership. So you as an individual or anybody that you want to get into Fusion, the number one priority is buying EMP off the market and sacrificing it. And the more that happens, the more the supply shock goes into effect. And before we know it, there's no more EMP. And we are at peg, and all of the dashboard money is actually realized because microgrids are worth the market value that they represent, and we're off to the races. Or in development speak, the flywheel starts turning. So that is the immediate goal, and we're poised, to make that happen. So, LA, again, anything you want to add from today's meeting or anything else before we
Yeah.
move into some of our other irons in the fire?
Yeah, we did also have a really great meeting first thing this morning with one of the contacts that I had made at Consensus, who runs a marketing and PR firm. They have over 100 employees and locations all over the world, and we're in talks with them to help take our marketing to an entirely different level. So it's not just me doing everything on my own, but we can have a lot bigger force behind everything that we do, since we run so many projects and we have so many different social media accounts. They just have the power to help us expand everything I do tenfold, 100-fold. So we had an amazing meeting. We're going to see how things go moving forward with them if we end up working with them. But we're extremely, extremely impressed by the lady that we've been speaking with. So
Totally.
that's exciting stuff as well with that.
Yeah, no doubt. And not only with that is it bullish in terms of, spreading the load for both LA and I, but a lot of times when working with marketing agencies, you also get access to their other clients, and the client list of this firm is unbelievable. So that could also be an amazing segue into getting exposure to other, you know, blue chip style protocols that again could utilize Fusion or create relationships through partner batteries. I mean, you name it. So that is again super promising, and something that we can maybe lock in now when the market isn't booming, and then come September, October, November, we're full force marketing while the market is just exploding. So again, the timing on everything is really ideal as well. Cool.
Absolutely. Yeah.
All right, awesome. So moving on then, the next topic is honor versus madness. So we've talked a little bit about this on the last few AMAs. For those that don't know, honor versus madness is our brand new game. We are developing a strategic card game that is really geared towards the mainstream gaming market, and that is a big difference between play to earn, which is about extracting value, and what 99% of crypto-based games are. We're flipping the script a little bit, and we'll definitely have some crypto elements. There'll also be a token, which we'll talk about in a minute. But the idea is that we want to make a fun game first that people want to spend money playing. And, when we accomplish that, the amount of revenue could be absolutely incredible. So we have a lot in the works right now. We're heavy into the both in-game and out-of-game economics. We're putting a whole plan together. We will have a token launch coming up. Again, we'll have more info on that, but it will be one of the most, biggest, how we do, right, LA? It'll be one of the biggest and most
Oh, yeah.
successful launches that you guys have ever seen. So, yeah, you want to talk a little bit about what we've been doing behind the scenes with Honor vs. Madness?
Yeah, we've had a lot of meetings recently, and we are full steam ahead, really planning out a big, big token launch. We have some extremely bright minds helping us plan this. I just am blown away by these conversations. So, this is going to be extremely successful. Whether or not you plan on being a part of actually playing the game, there's definitely opportunity for everyone to get involved and um, earn, obviously. So,
For sure. Yeah, no, 100%. And like I said, we'll have a lot more details coming out about this, but you still have about a month, I think, before we are ready to roll, maybe a little bit sooner, but we're putting, again, a bulletproof plan together. And this is really important because not only, like LA said, this could be another opportunity to earn within our ecosystem, but also it helps EMP Fusion be more successful as well because, again, as we've said, 10% of all the gross revenue from the game will be going directly into Fusion. So not only is it an opportunity within, a subset of our ecosystem, but it also comes home to the mothership as well. And so, if you're a gamer, then there's opportunity. If you're not a gamer, there's still opportunity. So whether you want to play the game or not, we'll have a lot of amazing, again, opportunities for you to participate in the coming weeks. So keep an eye out for that. We'll have a lot more announcements. Again, we'll have a rollout plan that we think is super bulletproof, and it really plays into the overall market as well. Right now, it's difficult launching a token during the summer, but the way we have it planned, it'll be really powerful in terms of a pre-sale, getting all of you early access, and then rolling into a full-fledged launch when the market starts to heat up. So And again, there's all of that subject to change. Like Yellow said, we have some incredibly bright minds behind the scenes, some really experienced trading card game developers and players. As a lot of you know, one of the largest come up in crypto I had back in 2018, 2016 was Splinterland. So that was again a very similar style of game that we have a lot of the whales and minds behind also helping with this launch. So I'm really excited for it. And we again, I still think Splinterlands is an amazing game, and I think in the real bull run it will have incredible opportunity there as well. But we're really learning from the potential downfalls of Splinterlands to be able to implement into this game. And again, I think there's a big narrative shift from play to earn, because play to earn, although that's amazing and only possible in crypto-based games, those aren't necessarily sustainable, because again, it's about extracting value, not putting more value in just because you want to play a fun game and you don't mind spending money for the entertainment value. And so that is going to be a big, big difference as we move forward. So, all right, awesome. Ella, anything else about Honor versus Madness?
No, I think that's it for now.
Cool. All right, and if you haven't joined, please join the Telegram and Discord. All of our socials will post as well, or Honor versus Madness, VS versus madness.com for the website. So, all right, moving on to our next update. Ella, I'm gonna have you read through this, and then I'm gonna elaborate a little bit more. I've been really excited to be chosen as the fourth and final uh, indexer or picker to participate in the Moonbags protocol. So, for those of you that may remember, we had an AMA a few weeks back with the Monstro's Moonbags community. Um, that was, a trusted protocol that we have had many partnerships with, including our Sparky NFT. And so this is essentially a basket of funds, and I'll let LA read through the announcement here now. But it's a way to get exposure to the overall market with tokens that not only I have vetted and picked personally, but also, and again, I'm not really allowed to say, but also tokens that include our own ecosystem. So it really is a win-win for everybody involved, and I'll answer some questions as we go. But Ella, do you mind just reading through the announcement we put out?
For sure. Yep. So AJ is the fourth and final indexer to pick the next 100x tokens with Moonbags. AJ selected 12 of his favorite projects, including some of our own, to be included in this NFT. You can purchase as many as you'd like, 50 USDC each. All funds collected will be used to purchase his selected crypto assets, which is a mixture of blue chips, chains, infrastructure, and memes. There's no upfront fees. When assets are sold, you receive 85% of the proceeds in USDC, and the team earns 15%. You may request an early withdrawal from any index for a small penalty charge on top of the team fee. The penalty fee is 15% for withdrawals requested within 6 months and 10% if requested within 12 months. After 12 months or any time the team sells an asset, there is no penalty applied. Early withdrawals will receive their share of the specific index in the tokens themselves, not USDC, and can then manage them as they wish. Early withdrawals are available starting after the final picks are revealed in early September. Remember, never sell your core assets within our ecosystem, but instead to use this as an easy button to get some exposure into some of the hottest crypto projects moving into the bull run. Not to mention, things are on a major discount at the moment, so the timing is impeccable. I'll go ahead and post the link for that in the chat.
All right, amazing. Yeah, perfect, LA. So again, I mean, every potential partnership or raise that we do, obviously, it goes through a vetting process. It is again something that you just need to know what you're getting into. Um, but this is again is zero pontonomics, and it's not synthetic either. Meaning all the money that is raised through Moonbags goes out and actually buys the tokens. So that is direct buying pressure on any of those 12 assets that we have included in our bag, so to speak. And, again, if you don't want to hold 12 different tokens in your wallet, not really know when to sell or when to hold, there is a very specific strategy that is implemented by the Moonbags team. I am not managing these. Again, this is not managed funds. It's all done through a decentralized smart contract, but the Moonbags and Monstros community are trusted. They've never had an exploit. It's again about as safe as it can get in terms of technological risk. But obviously, some of those tokens may go up, may go down, and so I think already being the fourth and final indexer. I can already say that we have raised the most. So that's really powerful. I think we've sold over 300 of these NFTs already. Um, and remember, we only get a cut of the fees that it produces. So we do get a bit of an affiliate commission, but it's not based on the gross total. It's only what the fund actually profits. So, that's another really powerful piece because we're not taking money away from anybody. We're all winning together as all the assets go up. And obviously, any of that commission will be used to feed EMP Fusion. We're not classifying it as a revenue stream because it's not ongoing, but we do many of these short-term, partnerships to generate more yield for us as a protocol. And again, even though it's not classified as real revenue ongoing, it absolutely will be used to help bolster rewards or EMP buybacks, et cetera, et cetera. So, all right, awesome. Again, if you have more questions, please join the Moonbags Discord under Monstros. They're very more active. Monstros Universe on Discord, and they can answer all of your questions. So, all right. Well, I think that was really everything in terms of our key points. Obviously, we'll take some questions. But LA, was there anything you wanted to go a little more in depth on, or anything we forgot to mention? Go ahead.
I think we're doing good. I can't think of anything in particular we didn't cover at this time, but there are a few questions waiting.
Perfect.
Okay. Will the nodes eventually become NFTs, or how will they automatically send SAC points into your microgrid? There's multiple parts of this, so I'll ask that part first.
Okay, yeah, no doubt. So that was one thing we discussed on the developer call today as well. I know we've been saying that the migration is coming. We're putting in the final steps for that now. Again, just a little bit delayed based on what we had originally hoped for. But remember, even without the migrations, you're always able to sacrifice manually into Fusion. So nodes, detonator, reactor, any of the NFTs, all of that can be sacrificed directly anyway. But yeah, to that point, nodes, we're working on it now. I don't think it will be an NFT. We don't want to create an NFT just to represent, have yet another thing to manage. But we are looking at ways, and nodes are very different because that's actual EMP that is in the nodes. We're looking at a few options of again allowing that to run its course and still benefit those that are in nodes. So we're not again ready to release the details, but we are actively working on that behind the scenes.
And so to answer that further, no, they will not likely become an NFT, but in order to automatically send the SAC points into your microgrid, we are going to be going through a migration. And once we go through the migration, when you claim, it will automatically happen.
Yes, 100%.
So the second part of the question is, what happens when you move your microgrid to a different wallet and you have your nodes on an old former wallet?
Yeah, so currently right now, you're not actually able to transfer your microgrid. You can, however, sell your microgrid to yourself. Again, we still would get the 3% fee for doing that, but you could, again, list your NFT, your microgrid NFT, and then buy it, um, again, with a new wallet. So if you're claiming from nodes on a different wallet, maybe that's something you want to do, or maybe you're claiming from another wallet with nodes, and that is sacrificed, that builds up your microgrid, and then maybe once a month or once a week you could sell that to yourself again. So currently that's the only option. Once we implement all the migrations, and if there is a major need for people that want to transfer NFTs or microgrids, then we could maybe set up a front end to be able to do that. But we need to be super careful because number one, we don't want to really allow third party marketplaces to transact microgrids. Number one, it extracts value from our ecosystem because those fees that are generated go right back into rewards. So we want to keep everything in house. And number two, it also adds a potential security. I don't want to say exploit, but it could compromise security as well. Because if we allow them to be listed on other third-party markets, then people create fake microgrids and people buy those. So it just opens up a whole can of worms that we don't want to really deal with. And we want to protect our own community as well. So yeah, again, maybe transferring through an additional battery or front end of our own, but right now your only option is selling it to yourself.
Awesome. Right now, the liquidity in eShare is very low, which causes high price impact when trying to buy, especially for usage in the Fusion marketplace. That makes for a poor user experience when buying eShare. Any plans for the team to add more liquidity for eShare?
Yeah, so actually, there is a good amount of liquidity on eShare. I mean, at one point, there was like $20,000 of liquidity. Now that's up to about 100 or 120,000. So we've added about 100 grand of liquidity already. Obviously, we want to get that number up as well. But yeah, I mean, it's a delicate balance because, any liquidity that we add is essentially what we call dead money, meaning that is not money that we can use to earn. Obviously, we're going to be getting some swap fees, but it's not earning nearly as much as it would be with some of our other strategies. And really, the main price impact or issue right now with eShare is bots. We have a lot of predatory bots that are front running transactions or sandwiching transactions through PancakeSwap, and unfortunately, when you do larger transactions, that's what makes the bots trigger. So it really is important that you're doing multiple smaller transactions. I would set your slippage low, 0.5% maybe, and then only transact in zero point 0.4 BNB at a time, around that, like $100 to $200 worth of buys every time. If you do that, you can pretty much avoid the bots triggering. And so eventually, and this is again another incredibly bullish part of what we're building, uh, once we implement our BSC DEX, that will no longer be a problem. So we'll be able to have our EMP ETH liquidity and our BNB eShare liquidity moved over to our own DEX, and then we will have our own arbitrage bots that will make the price impact a lot less. It will stabilize prices. It will allow you to utilize a lot more of that liquidity because it will be V3. So 100K of liquidity is essentially, 500K of liquidity on a V2 DEX. So that all is really, really promising. And we'll be getting fees because it's all POL, protocol owned liquidity. So the short answer is just bear with us and use really small transactions when trying to buy or sell eShare. But once we move to our own DEX, the user experience will be incredible, and you can buy as much eShare as you want at that point, in a lot less transactions.
Awesome. Next one. When I want to sell a microgrid after peg, if no one is buying it, will the protocol buy it? And what percentage will the protocol buy?
Yeah, so again, this is a very fluid, plan. So there is no concrete, smart contract that goes in and says, buy XYZ at XY price. It will be something that we just have to manage and move through on our own. Eventually, we could definitely make it a smart contract that buys at a certain level below market value. Um, but the idea right now is that all of the value that we generate, both from yield and economic energy, number one, it goes into peg recovery. So that is phase one. Is using, obviously we still pay rewards, but anything left over or additional revenue that we can squeeze out will help with peg recovery. And then once we get to peg, then we move into, uh, 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 bolstering the APR and removing sacrifice points. So that is when the Treasury will really start to step in and buy. Again, market value, that would be anything below market value, obviously, is more attractive, but it won't be a set, formula that we use. I mean, there may be a day that somebody needs to get out, and if nobody buys that microgrid under value, then we would buy it as a treasury. And, you know, if there is a situation where nobody really wants to sell their microgrids, then we would be buying it at market value because no matter what, every few days, we would still want to gobble up the supply. So that is another reason why us as a community can help, hold a very strong floor price at market value where, we would have to buy microgrids at full value. And so, again, that is phase two and will be over a much longer period of time. But that would be an amazing problem to have because that means that we are not only, recovered peg, but also maintaining peg.
Yes. Awesome. A few more. When activating batteries, is there any chance the team would consider allowing an additional slider for buyback and earn? Allow us to retain a percentage of BBE while also growing our batteries.
Yeah,
We've
so
definitely touched on this one, but we can review it.
totally. So right now, again, just because of the way the smart contract is built and what we call good accounting, it's really difficult to implement all of that into one battery slider, meaning you really do have to choose one or the other because it's a totally different mechanism in terms of energy rewards being converted to blue chips through batteries or the BBE just, essentially utilizing that eShare under the hood to support EMP and build their microgrid. So the short answer is right now it's going to be one or the other. And also it plays into the game theory a little bit as well. So, obviously the set it and forget it model is what people want. But sometimes that isn't what is best for the protocol either. So it's on you to make that decision. Maybe one week you do the BBE, and the next week you do a cash out battery. So that is all part of, again, the broader game theory as well. So as of right now, there is no plans on adding BBE as, part of the allocation.
Cool. Is the sacrificing still up to a good amount per day?
Yeah, so again, if you look on chain, I looked at it right now. I think we're like 4,000 EMP away from the next $1 million. I think it was 24 million. Hang on, I'll look at it live. Um, so yeah, oh man, we're over. Oh no, we're not. Are we? Yeah, no. So yeah, So we're again about 6,000 EMP away from 24 million EMP alone. Now, like I said earlier, that doesn't even include millions of EMP that are in the treasury or the locked contracts. Um, we've still been averaging about 500. I'm sorry, five. 50,000 to 100,000 EMP sacrificed daily. The last few days have been a little bit less just because I think the overall market and people, trying to figure out what's going to happen. But that's an amazing rate. I mean, again, in a
Incredible.
matter of months, there would be no more EMP left. And if you really do the math, I don't know if Vino is here, but the last update I got based on all the wallets we know and all the locked contracts, we're at about 70% of the overall EMP supply is already accounted for. So, that again
Amazing.
is unbelievably uh, bullish for sure. So,
That's incredible. Yeah, and looking at this almost 24 million EMP, that doesn't include E-bond, it doesn't include up EMP, it doesn't include the LP, all the rest of the EMP that the treasury holds and other wallets. So like there's just so much of the supply that's being taken out of circulation, or is already out of circulation. So
yeah.
70% is massive.
Yeah, no doubt. So again, I mean, just looking, and anybody can go on chain and look at this data. You can go to BSC scan and look at all the top holders. But I mean, that alone is just crazy. The math off the top of my head. So 24 million and the six, that's 30. 34, 5, 6, 7, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42. So we're looking at probably 50 or just under 50 million EMP that has been accounted for. And, you know, the maximum supply of EMP is just, let me look again. So maximum supply of EMP is just under 60 million EMP. So, if you look at the EMP ETH LP alone, which is the actual LP pair of what is able to be bought right now, it's only 6 million EMP. So that is again incredibly bullish. Obviously, there will still be people taking profit when we get to peg, but in the grand scheme of things, it's really not a lot of EMP left when we get to that point. So, and again, everything I just said is 100% verifiable on chain by going to BSC scan. So.
Amazing. All right, a couple more questions. Will the new DEX have a better DCA tool than PancakeSwap?
Yeah, so I know, again, this has been really powerful. A lot of other protocols have been implementing the DCA or TWAP tool, time weighted average price. I mean, I'm sure that we can implement that. But one thing a lot of people don't realize is the DCA tool, although it's really uh, easy and powerful for those that maybe aren't as advanced, there is a lot of front running that happens with that tool because on chain you can see that the orders and the buys that are scheduled to hit over a given amount of time. So obviously we don't want to have people be impacted because we have our own bots and we gatekeep the predatory bots. That is a lot less of an issue for us. So yeah, I mean, if that's something people want, we should be able to implement that no problem for sure.
Cool. Last question. Any updates regarding our L1X partnership and any thoughts on when they might go live?
Yeah, so again, unfortunately, no updates. It's been a bit of radio silence. We've heard that other teams are trying to develop on L1X and having the same difficulties we are. Again, I'm not trying to. We probably need to do a separate AMA when the time is right on all this, but the overall goal is that we still bring L1DEX to life, but whether we're going to be used as a scapegoat or the reason that there isn't a functioning DEX, that's fine, but we're never going to launch something that isn't 100% solid, and we don't want to have literally tens of millions of dollars at risk. And that's not to say that it would be, but we have to have the infrastructure in place to guarantee that it won't be. So we can't just take somebody's word for it. We can't build on a platform that isn't finished. Again, anybody that wants to do their own research, please join the L1X Discord and ask for the audit report that was done, and you can see that there are a bunch of missing pieces to the core code. And that is not FUD, that is not us, downplaying anything. I mean, we have significant investment in L1X. We want L1X to succeed. We want to build the most amazing cross-chain DEX, but we also have to work within reality. And the reality is that it's not ready for uh, a building on a level that we have to build that to be successful. So again, LA, I don't know if you want to add to that, but that's my personal opinion.
Yeah, there's been no movement and nothing has happened in the last couple months that has given us any um, ability to continue building. So that's where we're at.
Perfect. All right. All right. I think that's
That's
it.
all.
Yeah.
That's all, folks.
All right. Well, that was good. We're back on our 1 hour rhythm. So hopefully all of you
Yeah.
are still engaged, even though it's not a 2 hour AMA. And we appreciate all of you that again show up to these. Our numbers have been getting better and better. That was also part of our marketing call today, trying to get our Twitter and our YouTube engagement and followers up. So yeah, we're really looking good for what's to come. So on that note, any final words, LA, before we wrap it up? We'll have a lot more announcements this week, and obviously our next AMA on Thursday. But yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, thanks for coming, guys. We always appreciate you. We're always excited to see you here. Some of our favorite people and names popping up. Please remember to like and comment on your way out, and we'll really look forward to seeing you again on Thursday.
Yep, 100%. And again, we are hard at work behind the scenes. We'll have a lot of updates this week. And the name of the game right now is simple. I mean, we talked about this at the very beginning. All the puzzle pieces are on the table. We've done the border first, so the border is done, and now it's just a matter of filling in the middle. And we're a few puzzle pieces away from really having that complete picture. And that is, when we get to peg, not if, but when, and the flywheel really starts to kick in. So remember, APR will be better. The ecosystem will be healthier. The number one goal right now as a community is buying EMP off the market and sacrificing it, and then locking it away. So never ever invest more than you can afford. But during phase one, that's all. It's as simple as that. And then moving into the real bull run, a few months from now, when things really start heating up, all the revenue streams start kicking in. We have even more revenue streams. The APR will be extremely, extremely powerful. And at that point, again, not only are you getting incredible APR, but you're getting the realized value of your microgrid because that will be peg value. So again, we talked a little about it on the last AMA, but that alone, just in terms of price appreciation, could be upwards of 1,000% APR, a yield over 1 year, depending on where you buy your EMP at price. So, all right, again, none of that is financial advice. I just want to leave everybody with a very solid call to action and plan as we continue to move forward. So, all right, awesome. That'll do it then. Again, LA, sorry, I went on a bit of a ramble, so anything you want to add to that?
You're good.
All right,
I'm
awesome.
done. Bye, guys.
All right, cheers, everybody. Thank you. Please remember to like, subscribe, and comment. We come to you every Monday and Thursday at 6:45 p.m. Eastern. Share this AMA and our YouTube page with all the tutorials with anybody that may be interested in getting into Fusion, and join us in a few more days on Thursday for the next update. So, all right, have a great week, everybody. We'll see you in a few days. Good night. Good day. See you soon.